Whether you've wanted to or not, chances are over the past 18, 19 months at this point, you've learned to live your life with the more simpler side of things. Perhaps, maybe you've planned accordingly, but for the most part, everybody just kind of had an opportunity to reassess the fat that they can trim from their life and may or may not have found a more optimal way of living their life. So now we're going to take a look at that because I think personally, living the simplistic life, okay? Living a disciplined life, living a routinized life is the best way you can do it. So if we have an opportunity to talk about simplistic living, not a basic living, not a boring living, but just something where you trim away all of the garbage, I think that's a message that needs to be told out there because we're constantly told about the excesses, and people like to post on social media about, oh, look at all of these fun things that I have. Look at my new dress or my new bikini next to a pool that I don't even own, and all my pictures are airbrushed. All of the excesses and consumerism that's out there, at least in the Western world. I can't speak about the rest of it, but stripping all of that down, stripping it away, and finding out what's actually necessary to live a productive and happy life, we should talk about that more. I really do think so. What does it mean to live a life more simply and embrace the practices of simplicity? What's simple to you may be different than someone else. This difference lies in what motivates, encourages, and enriches your own life. Your journey will be unique, where the habits you choose and the routines you establish are meaningful to you and bring your life joy and contentment. Very much so, okay? Because I live a very, very simple life, okay? I wake up at a certain time. I know exactly what I'm going to be doing on a day-to-day basis. And I'm happy with that, man. I have one meal a day. I see my family, talk with a couple of people. I answer some questions. I answer some comments. And life is good. Life is simple, man. And don't mistake that for being just blissful ignorance and fairly well versed on what's going on out there. But not about me. This is about getting to the bottom of this. Sure, there are many great posts online to cultivate a more simple life, such as 101 simple living tips. But we only have time for 10. Okay, I don't feel like going through all 101 of them. But if you want to have a simple 101 life living tips, that seems like a lot if you're going to be simple. But okay, whatever. Links in the description and then the links in the linked article. But simplicity should be an opportunity for you to create a life of meaning and sustainability. What do they recommend? 10 lessons I've learned from simplicity. Having fewer choices is less overwhelming. Yeah, everybody makes how many choices have you made in the past couple of hours? Okay, if you really assess what you had to do, how many of those are really superfluous? How many of those really don't matter? How many of those didn't benefit you whatsoever? You can start trimming that stuff away and you find yourself having more productive mind capacity. Each evening before bed, I open up my closet and I choose my clothes I'll wear it the next day. If you've never tried this habit, it's one of my favorites. Yeah, when I worked at the boring, monotonous, tedious, life-draining 9 to 5, I had everything planned out. I had my exercise gear. I had my gym bag packed for when I go to the gym first thing in the morning. I had the clothes I was going to wear already packed and ready to go. So I would just wake up, get ready, grab my bag, and away we go. Gym bag, that is. I'd grab the other one, but hey, you know what? Oh, we try to keep it on the up and up over here. Oh, whatever. Or even, yeah, you guys can see it on a daily basis around here. Keep things fairly simplistic. You can't see my pants, but it's colder here and it's fall, so I got sweatpants on as opposed to shorts. But outside of that, I know what I'm wearing for a week. Okay, I wash it every once in a while, okay? But I do change the t-shirt and I just keep it simple because I'm not here to impress anybody, okay? What should be impressive is what comes into this microphone, not the vessel in which it delivers that, okay? It's from here to here. Outside of that, it just disseminates what I see, what I get from here and from these. So the fewer unnecessary decisions that you need to make, the more time you have for the stuff that is actually important. Seeing only options of clothes that I love and fit well is much less overwhelming than sifting through a sea of items I no longer wear, but that remain in my closet just taking up space. Yeah, same reason why somebody who I don't consider a hero or somebody who's as great as they're constantly presented as, Steve Jobs, He always wore a black turtleneck, blue jeans, so it's a method of practice that's been very successful for people for a very long time. Leaving margin in your life allows more time to be present. What do you mean by this? Our days of being quarantined at home in 2020 result in several healthy insights. Okay. One of these was, that leaving more margin in our week creates more opportunities to just be. Okay. Be still, be less busy, be more rested. Having proper, appropriate, it's kind of nice considering yesterday we talked about feeling guilt when relaxing. Instead of just having dead time, use it as a live time. Okay, this allowed us to enjoy more of life's free pleasures, sunshine, nature, and loved ones, unless you live in Michigan where they tell you that you should just stay inside and be afraid at all times. Not the topic for this channel. Saying no to too many good things leaves to many good things leaves room to say yes to few better things. Saying no can be hard, but it is essential, okay? And learn what you need to say no to, and when you do, in fact, whip out that 2-letter word, mean it. Especially for people pleasers like the author, I guess. But I've learned that it pays off. You can't do everything, and certainly not well. Come on, dude. I'm sure you're probably good at a lot of things. Learn to say no to opportunities, even if they are indeed good, to make room of what matters most. I think that's just good life advice about everything, really. Comparison is the thief of joy. When we allow comparisons to enter our lives, we subconsciously admit that what we have isn't enough. Yet the only thing that you should be comparing yourself to, not to anybody else, okay, not to any other thing that you see, because you don't get the full story. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday in order to create a better vision and a better approximation of yourself in the future, okay? Focusing on the journey, not the destination, brings more contentment, okay? I'm going to make a weird analogy on this one, okay? If you've ever taken up watching an old TV show, okay, or maybe just binge watching something and you've reached the end of that series, you have that sense of loss, like, I don't know what I'm doing. Oh my God. I've been watching this for like 2 weeks at this point, a couple episodes here and there, but now I have to make the big decision. It's like, I got to watch something else now. Is it going to be as good as what I just watched, or what am I supposed to do right now? That's enjoying the destination without having, that's enjoying the journey. And then once you reach the destination, it's not all it cracks up to be, okay? That's like achieving your dreams, as it were, okay? You get to the end point, you're going through college, you're going through university, you get that degree at the end of the road, but guess what? There's a lot longer to that race, okay? You think that you're just running a nice little fun 10K? Yeah, guess what? You're actually in a marathon, okay? And then you get that job, okay? You set up the practice if you're a doctor. Oh, guess what? That marathon is actually an ultra, because now you have more opportunities that are out there. So always take a moment to realize where you are along your path. Self-reflection of your routines and goals is a healthy way to move forward. All right. Taking time to evaluate and reflect upon the goals and routines that I've done is healthy, because it allows me to see that these practices are actually benefiting me or adding to something that I do. Again, taking a moment and taking the time to figure out what useless stuff you're doing on a daily basis, taking it out and replacing it with something that is more fulfilling to you and your goals. Fasting from some of life's pleasures allows you to enjoy them even more. Yeah, don't satiate every little spur of the moment twinge that you have, okay? Learn some self-control. Impulse buying is too easy, so apply the 48-hour rule. Again, the exact same thing. Those little impulse purchases that are right close to the till, that's specifically talking about this. If you didn't think that you need it, if you didn't have a plan going into the store, there's a good chance that you didn't need it. And just because you've seen it and just because it's marketed well, doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to add any value to your life. Quiet time is a daily necessity. I cannot tell you how much I love just absolute dead quiet. Just me, even if I'm working, okay, I just like absolute silence. It's very rare in this very busy, very hillbilly infested neighborhood with their stupid over-the-top exhaust packages on their cheap rusted out beaters. And I can't believe that they would spend $5,000 on custom exhaust for a vehicle that's 30 years old, and that would cost like half of that to just buy something new, but whatever. Constantly hear those ripping up and down. I don't really know how it translates on microphone, but if I have the window cracked even just a little bit, you'll hear it. But when I can get that absolute silence, when there's not wind howling 80 miles an hour, it's golden. It's golden. And it just allows you to focus in on so many other things because your attention's not being distracted every which way. And finally, it's more important to take away than to add. Exactly what we said up at the top, okay? Being immersed in consumerism, being immersed in the fear of missing out. When you realize that that fear is useless, or realizing that buying that one cute dress or those cute pair of shoes to wear once when you have a wall full of perfectly fine shoes in order to impress somebody, maybe, is it really worth it? No, chances are it's not. One important rule of thumb that we've come to rely on is called addition by subtraction. Instead of adding a new habit to solve a problem, see what can be removed or avoided. We wanted to reduce the amount of clutter in the playroom, so instead of creating an elaborate organization system, simply burnt it all. That's cool. Those kids don't like those toys anyways. No, I kid. They just threw them out or donated them to... Oh, no, right, it's a pandemic, so yeah, they probably just ended up throwing them out. But yeah, man, simplicity in life, okay? Try it out. There's a lot of fluff that you probably have in your life, and you'd be better off if you would just get rid of that garbage. With that said, I thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.